Hello, very good evening to all of you. Today we are going to discuss the case note of Mr. Mark Jackson, and he is a dementia patient here. So we'll see the condition in detail after looking into the writing task, what's given here. We have the writing task here. This is a referral letter to a swallow therapist, and the swallow therapist is positioned here in St. Kilda Hospital, Meadow, which is very near to the nursing home, the Meadow nursing home from which we are writing it. Now we are going to see for what purpose we are writing the letter to the swallow therapist is to provide an immediate visit for assessment and further management. This is the reason why we are writing the letter to the swallow therapist. So we are going to write to the swallow therapist for providing Mr. Jackson immediate visit for assessment, that is swallow therapy assessment and further management. So the detail, the writing task is clear. We are going to request a specialized emergency assessment for Mr. Jackson from the swallow therapist to see the conditions and manage the conditions accordingly. So this is what the writing task is. Now let's see what is there in the case note from the beginning. So you are a dementia specialist nurse. Now let's see. Dementia specialist nurse, that is your position, and you are working in Meadow Nursing. Now the patient is an 88-year-old male client. His name is Mark Jackson. Very clearly, the diagnosis is there, that is dysphagia. Now we have the previous medical conditions, that is myocardial infarction, open connection internal fixation, which is not relevant, dementia, and cardiovascular, cerebrovascular accident. So this is what we can see here. Because of cerebrovascular accident, the patient has mild right-sided weakness, but swallowing normal. Now, because of MI, he is having atorvastatin, which is continuing every day. Now, we have the social background, which is not so relevant here. That is the next of kin, wife died. He is a resident of dementia specific unit that we can mention here. But for a swallow therapist, this is not that much important. Let's see what's happening next. Yes, we have the recent medical history here, that's loss of appetite, something is very serious here. Loss of appetite, refusing food, complaints, difficulty in swallowing tablets. So these are the very recent things that we can see the medical history. Problems which are concerned, which are related to swallowing. That is, the patient has no appetite, patient refuses food, patient has difficulty in swallowing tablets, and he had 2 episodes of choking. 4th October, that's 4 days ago. 6th October, again, without any complications. So 4 and 6, he has 2 episodes of choking. So just because of choking, choking is something serious, because the patient has confusion because he is a dementia patient. The patient has, I told, mild right-sided weakness, when though now he has developed problems in swallowing. So this is something difficult. This may have fatal complications. So for this reason, endoscopy is done on 7th, that's a day ago. No abnormality detected. And now we have the complaints of difficulty in swallowing solid food. Dietitian recommended liquid diet and semi-solid diet. GP review, after the GP review, GP has suggested the swallow therapy, referral assessment therapy, and suggested the possibility of rice tube placement if the patient is still not tolerating the solid food. Now let's see what is the very reason that's today's problem. Now he is tolerating viscous fluids, but still he has some problem. He has cough while drinking water. Now he cannot swallow tablets, the crush tablets. He cannot swallow. He refuses the crush tablets just because of old taste. But we can see an irony here that the patient is ready to eat biscuits, jelly, pudding, custard, and ice cream. So no trouble is there in having these things. So we can readily say that he has no problem in having semi-solid foods like jelly, pudding, custard, ice creams. But he still he has problems in having crush tablets that can be managed by a swallow therapist here. Now we have a hoarseness of voice. That's another complaint since he had endoscopy a day before. He has had the hoarseness of voice. So this is another complaint here. Today's complaint. Now our plan is to refer to the swallow therapist for further assessment and management, including the possibility of flexible laryngoscopy and rice tube placement. That's all we have to see. Let's see a model letter, which is here. It's to the swallow therapist, St. Kilda Hospital, Meadow, Australia. The therapist or dear sir, madam. Reference Mr. Mark Jackson, aged 88. Yes. Let's see in detail here. I'm writing to request. This letter is to request you an immediate visit to Mr. Mark Jackson for a specialist assessment and further management. For what? He suffers dysphagia and associated problems. So this is what we can see. The purpose is very clear. We are requesting the swallow therapist an immediate visit to Mark Jackson for specialist assessment and for the management. So his problems are very clear: dysphagia and related problems. Now, Mr. Jackson, who has been our resident for nearly 7 years after his wife's death, has recently lost his appetite, refuses food, and has difficulty in swallowing tablets. So recent problems are outlined here. So who is Mark Jackson? We have given a mild, a very brief picture. One of our residents, our resident for 7 years. So he's not a recent resident. He's a resident for more than 5 years, 7 years he has been here. Now all these years he might have different problems, but recently he has had these types of problems, that has lost his appetite. He has recently lost his appetite, refuses food, 2, and has difficulty in swallowing tablets, 3. Now today, that's on 8th October, although he can eat biscuits, jelly, pudding, and ice cream, he refuses crushed tablets, complaining of old taste. Now, what is the reason why these food items are mentioned, listed? So we are giving a very clear picture to the swallow therapist, what type of food he can take. So very clear picture. I mean, he can take biscuits, he can take jelly, he can take pudding, he can take ice cream. So these are the types of food he can take, but he refuses crushed tablets. So specifically, we are giving a very clear idea what exactly he can take and what exactly he cannot take. This is written to a swallow therapist, something he has to know very clear, very particularly. We are writing these types of food items. Many are ask me questions why we are writing in detail. Because we are writing to a swallow therapist, we have to be very particular in what type of food he is having right now, what type of food he refuses, and what is the reason behind his neglect towards some sorts of food which he has to take, or something which he has to take. Now, despite having cough while drinking water, he tolerated viscous food. Now, he has some problems when he takes water, that is the cough, but he's tolerating viscous food. Viscous food is something which he tolerates. He also suffers hoarseness of voice for the past 2 days. So now, even though this is not so important for a dysphagia, for a swallow therapist, is something which is associated problem. The voice is something that any disturbance in voice has also some relation with dysphagia. So hoarseness of voice, that is something which is a recent complaint, which is an associated complaint here with dysphagia. So that's why we have mentioned that. Now, Mr. Jackson's past medical history is myocardial infarction, dementia, mild right-sided weakness, and had 2 episodes of choking on 4 October and 6 October. So yeah, so 2 episodes of choking. In this week. So in this week, so we are writing on 8th. So this happened. The first episode happened on 4th and the second episode happened on 6th. So 2 episodes of choking this week, along with dysphagia for solid food. So that's it. As a result, the dietitian reviewed him and recommended liquid or solid, semi-solid diet. We have seen this thing. Because of these 2 episodes of choking and dysphagia for solid food, he was reviewed by the dietitian and he recommended him liquid diet and semi-solid diet. Now, this is what we have written here. Now, however, the GP advised him a swallow therapy referral and a rice tube replacement if he still does not tolerate solid foods. So if the problems persist, okay, so I could make this thing brief, and I could make it look a little bit formal too here. So the core paragraphs are clear. Now we have the purpose paragraph. We have the background information, and we are going to see what is to be done by the swallow therapist in the last paragraph. It would be appreciated. You can write, would be highly appreciated, because that this is an urgent assessment. So you can go ahead with highly appreciated if you need. It would be appreciated if you could meet Mr. Jackson at the earliest for the assessment therapy, including a flexible laryngoscopy, and manage his condition as you see the most appropriate. And punctuation is needed here, including flexible laryngoscopy, and manage his condition as you see the most appropriate. If you have any further queries related to Mr. Jackson's condition, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours faithfully, Dementia Specialist Nurse Miro Nursing. Now that's it. We have come to the conclusion of this thing. This is the letter here. So hope your doubts are clear here. Thank you. We'll see you with another letter soon. Thank you.